So, from my journey to becoming a healer and helping people around the world, because I can tell you that little story about that little girl, I can tell you hundreds of those stories. Yeah. I will help transform people's lives in a major way. Like if I die tomorrow, I'm going to go, wow, I've really helped change a lot of people's lives in this world. That's about wanting to make a difference in the world. Not just sitting in your little suburb and going to work and doing the same things every day. I'm being like a robot. Yeah? So, I've set up what I call the Shamanic Healers Academy. And what I do in this Shamanic Healers Academy is help address your challenges, what stops you being a healer, and help you appreciate your why you want to be a healer, your calling, to connect to that, and to help give you clarity and confidence. Because the two biggest things that stop people are clarity, they don't know why they're a healer, who they are, and they lack confidence. I can't do it. Which is like a little trick you play on yourself, because you are the best you in the world. If you access yourself as a healer, you are the best healer in the world. I don't heal like Natalie, and she doesn't heal like me. We don't compete. We provide different services to people based on what people need. Does that make sense? So there are plenty of people in the world that need you. Don't worry about that. And all you got to do is be yourself. Because guess what? You know the people you're going to attract are like you. So you better like yourself. Like your journey. Like your struggles you've gone through. Oh, that was hard, or you know, I had addictions or whatever. But if you appreciate what you've learned from them, you're going to attract people to you and go, wow, I know about that because I felt it and I felt the pain of it. So you should really. So one thing we do in the course is help people really look at their life journey. Have you started looking at you've been looking at yours, haven't you? How's that going?
Yeah, I've had a lot that's happened, that's the thing. So that's where I'm stuck. I've started with Paul as well, and Sarah. And I've been looking at my life journey and trying to figure out where I know I can heal. And I'm in the health industry, but within the medical model, but I want to move on, and I know I can help people. But it's knowing what sector in a sense, and it may be that I just deal with a lot of different types of people, basically.
We talked about it a little bit the other day, remember? Yeah? What did we talk about the other day?
Grief and loss,
yeah,
and those areas, but that's for so much of the population anyway.
Well, especially in Melbourne, because a lot of people smoke. Yeah. Grief affects the organ, the lungs. So anyone who smokes, you know they've got grief. And a lot of people have grief because a lot of people get attached. Because you know how we feel lost? People feel lost. You know what they do is they attach them to something to get an identity. Oh, I work in this, or I've got this girlfriend or boyfriend, or I do this. That's not your identity. That's just what you do. Now, who are you? Now, it is a process to go through. So I give you questions in the course to look deep into yourself, and I help you connect to it, because I can feel, I'm a visual person, I can see you, and I can see you in all your possible futures. And I can help you open up to that energy, if that's part of your purpose. Yeah? Right. So, to becoming a master healer, there's already 3 things you need to do. If you're going to heal, you must be a master at it. Yeah. Discover your calling as a healer, know your why. Develop your healing wisdom and abilities. If you want a copy of all these slides, I can send them to you. Would you like that? Yes. Yeah. I got that message from you. Thanks for that. See the power of being telepathic. Nats has really opened up to her telepathic abilities. And I can tell you that if you don't use your telepathic abilities, you reduce your abilities so much. So maybe when you go to a car park, you can go and park in the disability spot, because you're not using your... That came from you.
I did tell them that.
Tell them that.
The system.
So give me one example where telepathy has been very powerful for you as a healer, Nats. That one.
After I did the shifting of the energy in the house, I ended up doing a live stream on Facebook on the Monday, and I just got this feeling that I wanted to try and do a healing without knowing or seeing the person that needed it, and just do it and then see if that person picks up on it. And it was more just an experiment, really. And I got a feeling of the woman who it was as well. And she started messaging and telling me, oh yeah, I can feel this colour, I can feel this pain in my butt and in my chin. You know, she's writing this in the comments of my Facebook's live stream, and I'm thinking, whoa, I need to stop what I'm doing and I need to do this healing. So I did, and I spoke to her. She was from Colorado, I think. Yeah. And we had a session, and it turned out that her husband, who passed away a couple of months ago, was attached to her hip because the grief that she was feeling, because when he passed away, they didn't have a good conversation. They had an argument, and she felt really, really guilty and really bad about that, and she just couldn't let it go. And she said she couldn't sleep at night, but that particular night she just couldn't even walk, like the pain was so bad. So she was attracted to my Facebook live stream. So I said to her, do you want to do it? So we did a video, but I couldn't actually see her because the video was like facing downwards. So I just had to go with how I was connecting through, and I could actually feel where it was, and I felt when it actually left her as well. But what happened was I helped her connect to her husband so that she could feel him. And I said to her, I'm also getting a message that you're a healer as well. So this is part of your experience so that you can actually do that. Anyway, a week and a half later, I called her just to see how she was and everything, and she said the pain's completely gone and that she's now enrolled in doing a counselling course and things like that. And I was like, wow, from 40 minutes of a conversation where I could telepathically communicate with her, asking her questions and feeling where she was at, you know, it did the job. Yeah. Yeah.
So part of, when we're going to talk about this in the course, is learning how to master your abilities, learning how to be telepathic. See, I work with kids who are in the womb. I talk to them because I found the cause of morning sickness. Because the mother is disconnected from the baby and the baby's having a tantrum. So the baby tells me this and says, can you go and tell my mother this? So I met this Argentinian lady down in Ackland Street, and I said, look, I feel like I've got to talk to you, because she was pregnant, I could see. And I said, your baby's giving me a message, and can I share it with you? Because you always got to get permission when you telepathic work. And I said, look, your baby's telling me that you're having a fight with your boyfriend, and you're getting really angry, and you're not connecting to the baby. And I said, is that true? And she said, totally. I'd never met her before. And I said, look, you got to go and connect to your baby and love it and appreciate it. And that shifts the energy.
That's the majority of women that are pregnant.
Yes, totally.
They have morning sickness.
Totally. Yeah. Because they're not connected to the baby. They understand why they're a mother, or because they're connected to other stuff and they're not connected to the baby. The baby's having a tantrum. Mum, can you listen to me, please? I'm in here.
Distraction. At the start.
And I can tell you from healing that a lot of people have issues being in the womb.
Yeah, exactly. And, oh God, you're going to laugh at my revelation. You know how natural birth is through the vagina? But suddenly the doctors are cutting our stomachs open and just birthing. No wonder there's so much anger and pain in this world.
Yeah.
But that's a deep.
Because there's a physical reason as well. Like when you come out head first, when you come out head first, it actually massages your body from head to toe.
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah, it's natural. Because if you muscle test, it's a way of connecting to people. If you muscle test, someone who's had a cesarean, if you muscle test them on their name, they go weak. They don't even know really who they are. But if you massage them from head to toe, they're actually born again.
It's like in a lot of industries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like medical food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating, isn't it?
So the more you open your abilities, the more healing you can do. It's not just work in the physical dimension. It's like if you open up your abilities, you can do past life, work in different dimensions. Like I had this lady came to me, and she had this back that no doctors could work out. And she had a really painful back. And I looked at her back, and I sort of started laughing. She said, what are you laughing at? And I said, your wings are broken. I said, you're great though, you're lucky, because I know how to sew them up. So she was fairy, and she had a fight in fairyland. So we had to go into there to help her clear the energy. And when I sewed up her wings, she got off the table and she said, I feel amazing. That was the session, sewing her wings up and helping her understand why she created the fight in fairyland. And the next day she went and did yoga, which she hadn't done for 9 months because she couldn't with the back. Healing can be very quick And it can also be a lot of fun. People think healing is serious, but it's not, it's actually fun. Yeah?
Well, I think that accessing the other dimensional healing is one of the most powerful ones, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they're all powerful. If you're helping people be who they are, it's all powerful. Okay. So this is what I do in the Shamanic Healers Academy, right? And tonight I'm going to mainly talk about the first one. There's 4 levels to me to become a healer. One is becoming a coach. This is a course that Nats has done, but the next course is, I've upgraded it from what she did. She did a weekend, but I'm going to teach it over 2 months. Just to make it deeper for you guys, yeah?
How many? 2?
2 months. We'll come talk about it in a minute. How to become a shamanic healing coach. How to work with people, and talk about what that means in a minute. Second one is body work. Body work, like she's very powerful with the voice, I'm extremely powerful with the body. One of the shamans in Peru, she connected to me in a ceremony, and she's, oh my God, there's only 5 people in the world that can do with the body with what you can do. I knew I'm very powerful with the body. So that my bodywork course, where I teach about 15 different techniques, is really can move a person to a new level. Yeah. But to be able to, before you can work on a body, you've got to know how to connect to people. If you don't do body work and you not really know how to connect to people energetically, the body work isn't that powerful. Yeah? That's why I teach people how to connect to people first, number 1. Then after that, it's becoming a trainer or a speaker where you actually do groups. Nats is already doing that. She does a lot of group healings. Yeah? And it's ability to do healings all the time, and I do that every time I do a group class. Sash picked this up, didn't you, Sash, at the Heal Talk? She said to me afterwards, I could feel you doing healing on people during the talk.
You could see it.
Yeah. So if any of you guys are open, I'm helping you heal at this time. I remember this talk, this guy came and he said, he had this real headache, and I said, I got this headache. And he said, I don't know if I like this stuff. And I said, look, if I can help move your headache while I'm running this talk, will you do the course? I like challenges. People say, oh, this client's difficult, and I go, great. Yeah. It's like a smooth sea never made a great sailor. How do you become a better sailor? By being in windy conditions and learning how to use your abilities. So I'm running this talk, and about 10 minutes later, this guy, I was telepathically removing his energy in his head. It was causing headache. And he said, oh my God, that feels good. Where's the paper? Sign up. He wanted proof. That's okay. Some people want proof to feel it. Because people talk a lot. Does it work? He could feel it. Right. And then it's becoming a master class. When you're at the master level, you're unique and you're out there with what you've learnt. Because like, if you look at Nats at the moment, she's playing a lot, she's developing, she's only very quickly, she's only been out there a few months. But it's like you play with your abilities until you find out, what do I really want to do? What am I really good at? And what am I learning to put together to create a new uniqueness in your form of healing? That's when you become a master. It's like you practice your singing and you suddenly realise what your niche is in singing, and that's what you become an expert at. Yeah? And that's when you can go and share that with the world. And I can tell you that everyone here is unique, and I've got some unique master to share with the world. How exciting is that? Because remember, there's no shortage of people in the world. There's 7 billion and most of them need healing. Don't worry about a shortage of people for you to work on. And of course that includes the humans. As Nat said, there's a lot of spirits caught in the dimensions between. There's a lot of humans there as well. Yeah? Or work on other spirits. Yeah? So there's no shortage of people in the whole universe. So what I do is I came up with the idea of a healer's jigsaw, which identifies 5 key things to become a healer. And you know why I call it the jigsaw? Because most people are in pieces. Yeah? They're scattered. It's like you've hidden your parts of your soul all around the universe, and it's like you've got to put your soul together again. And we even say that. People say, I'm scattered. And it's true. Because I can connect you and I go, oh, part of you is back in Atlantis, part of you is over here as a witch, and part of you is over here that you haven't dealt with. Because you know where your body is? Your body is where your consciousness is. That's where your body is. If you haven't resolved something, that's where that part of your body is. Yeah? Most people are not present. So when you connect to people, you've got to learn how to go to all the different places where the soul is. You've got to learn to travel to find it. Yeah? Because most people are not present. If you were totally present, like Eckhart Tolle, you would have no health issues. So if you've got one health issue, you're not present. That's a good test. Yeah. Because like Nat said, like you can connect to a body part and that hip might be somewhere else, you know, that related to an experience. Like when I connected to this guy's hip, and I said, what does the energy feel like? He said, a motor car. And when he really connected to that energy, he was in a car accident in past life where he killed a wife, killed a lady and a kid. And he had guilt around it, and hips around guilt. Yeah. So, what does a healing jigsaw look like? This is how I help people become a healer. And we're going to briefly go through each of these. First one is, we'll start in the top left-hand corner. Understand healing. If you do not understand what healing is, how can you take someone on a healing journey, including yourself? And you might say, yeah, but I understand healing. No, there's a lot of confusion out there about what healing is. Most people, and including a lot of healers, yeah, don't really understand what healing is. So let me give you what I've learned from healing, yeah, in terms of what healing is, from a shamanic perspective. As a spirit, we come in, our soul, we come into the body. We have a vision for the planet, and we want to use the physical body to manifest. Now, if we bring our soul totally into our body, I call it embody your soul, your body's going to be full of energy, and you can manifest your purpose. But if we sacrifice ourselves, like we talked about before, because we want to be a work junkie or something, to be accepted in the world, we'll block some of that energy coming into our body, and that block is what causes your body not to function properly, and you cause a dis-ease. In other words, your body's under stress. It hasn't got the energy. Yeah? You guys all right? Yeah. So it's about understanding that illness is created because we're blocking our soul. That's a shamanic way of looking at it. If you talk to shamans, they always talk about soul loss. Yeah? The way I interpret soul loss is you're not embodying your soul. It's up there. Most people are worried about having an out-of-body experience. No, they're really worried about having in-a-body experience. And it's true because they're painful of being in the body. Yeah? Because of dramas had in the past. Yeah. Which could be sexual. I had a client the other day with sexual abuse, and she just did not like to be in a body because of feeling that pain of going through that experience. She hasn't really been in a body for the last 20 years. It's like she's trying to work by remote. I call them remote. Yeah, you got to try and work your body from remote, from a distance, to make it work, which is quite challenging. Yeah. So to understand healing is really to understand how do you help people reconnect to their soul. That's the ultimate. Because if people reconnect to their soul, like with Sash, when she helped to reconnect to that part of who she was, that pain in her spine went away totally, and she felt totally different, didn't you, as a person? Because you could say, well, does that definition of healing work? Well, I've helped people from around the world of all different ailments, and it works. So that's what I know. I know that's why that definition is clear. So when people say to you things like, I've got to battle cancer, or fight cancer, they don't understand healing. Because you've created that illness, and not in a guilt aspect, but because you're blocking part of your soul. Because really what healing is doing the opposite. It's unblocking that energy you've blocked to actually reconnect to your soul. It's like reverse engineering. So the body is like a dashboard, is a good way of looking at it. You know, you've got an aeroplane, you've got a dashboard. What does the dashboard show you on an aeroplane? All the things about where the plane's going on its journey, isn't it? Yeah? That's what dashboard's telling it. Your body is like your dashboard for where you're at. So it's trying to tell you that you've got a blocked in particular part of your soul. Yeah? Like knees about not moving forward, and hips about blocking guilt, yeah? Shoulders about being burdened. Yeah? Different parts of the body represent different parts of wisdom that we're blocking. So what a lot of natural therapists do is they look at you, they connect to your body, and they go, where are you blocked in your body? And what does it tell you about what part of your soul you're blocking? And if you unblock that, healing can happen very quickly. Yeah? Like people with MS, I'll get you in a minute. Like a girl on crutches, I helped her understand why she had MS, which is about feeling you lose control of your body. If you've got a belief, I felt I lost control of my body, guess what your body's going to do? Lose control. So when I helped her move that energy, that belief, guess what? Her body healed. She was off crutches in 2 days. It blew people away. That's how powerful it is. Because you know what blocks our soul? It's our limited thoughts, our limited perceptions of who we are, created from trauma we had when we were younger. Yeah? And that's what you've got to help clear. Those limited beliefs that people have, yeah? Like the lady and guy that you talked about, in terms of their limited belief that they didn't talk or communicate or something, and they still had to communicate.
Yeah, wow. I got a big wake-up call.
Just then?
Obstinate, well, yes, obstination. I'm just so obstinate that I self-inflict self-destruction and pain that I went to the Himalayas and I did do 5-MeO-DMT.
Yeah.
And I purged 7 years of my manifestation blockage,
Yeah.
which was wonderful. Then I came back to civilization called urban living. It came back. What does that mean?
Okay. Because people go there.
And then I came back. And
People go into this healing environment, like, and you know, they do a lot of healing there. But the thing is, you're not totally healed until you can live in your world.
I went back to work.
Yeah. So it's about being able to live in your life with your essence.
That's where the magic happens when you
Yeah. Because going away and going into a particular retreat is powerful because you can get away from all the distractions, but you've got to be able to live it when you go back. And I challenge a lot of the healing centres over there because they're not following people up. They're just making money out of them, and they might make some changes, but are they long term? That's the important question. That's the important question. Has your pain in your spine come back? So that's the difference. Yeah? It's about long term. If you actually remove the underlying issue which causes the illness, it is permanent.
Because the underlying issue was lack of support in the spine, and it manifested as a personality of attention seeking.
Yeah.
Mine's anger, frustration, resentment.
Yeah.
Still got this.
But you can shift it next minute.
Cool. So in the course, it's about understanding what healing is at a deep level, because then you can take someone on a healing journey. So that's if she wouldn't be doing the healing she's doing if she didn't totally understand why she's doing it and what I'm actually doing with people. Yeah, because a lot of people don't. Because I asked a massage therapist, "What do you do with your healing?" She said, "Oh, no, I'm just touching the body," and she's not totally understanding what healing is. Discover your calling, we've already talked about. That's the second important point. So understanding healing, discover your calling. The third thing is really important to talk after what we just talked about. You've got to learn how to master your energy. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Because healing is all about energy. Thoughts, emotions, body, everything's energy. So you've got to be able to connect to energy. Because really, if you connect to a person's body and their thoughts, through their telepathy, through their emotions, through clairsentience, it's called, feeling people's emotions, being an empath. If you feel their physical body and you can connect to them in their life, you can pick up everything about that person. Everything. Because you know, when I first started, I thought, what happens if a client comes and I don't know what to do? Who's got that fear?
Oh, yes.
If you really connect to a person, you always know. Isn't it true, Nat?
Yeah. I think it takes practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely takes practice. And it's understanding what gives you the inspiration to actually do it.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm going through levels and levels. It doesn't end. Like, the more you get into it, the more.
Also a fair bit of trusting your intuition.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And this is what we were just tapping into.
Yeah.
You're amazing,
Is that
Natalie.
intuition. That's where you feel that pulsing, you know, and that's what as women especially, to connect to that intuition and trust that we know that we can do it. It's right for us.
Yeah.
Thank the gut being here.
Yeah.
And how do you become intuitive healing? Because really it is becoming an intuitive healer. How do you become intuitive? By using all your senses. So therefore, in the course of doing a lot of sensory ability training. Like Nat's really like the emotional tone scale. We practice people how to feel emotions and go up and down the tone scale. Because you've got to be able to feel emotions in a person and also be able to move them. So learning how to master energy is so crucial to being a healer. To feel people's energy, know where they're at. Because I felt something different from her than Nats did. I felt it, I knew it was there, but that actually wasn't right time for her to heal that. Yeah? Because I definitely did feel a block in her head. Yeah? Could you feel it? Other people feel that?
But still, I can still feel it.
Yeah. Now Nats didn't feel that either. That doesn't mean that someone's right or wrong. We feel different energies. Because if I went to Nats as a client, and I went to you as a client, you'd probably pick up something than her. Yeah? Because I'm coming to you for a different reason. Does it make sense? And it's understanding that. Yeah? But it's learning how to connect to people that's really, really crucial.
So
Yeah.
is part of your identity now as a healer to help people connect to their intuition, or is that like, have you
No,
nailed?
it's different for everyone.
It's different.
I just can be the open channel to connect to you, and then I just end up doing whatever it is that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a set group of, like a target market and marketing speak, like that you specialise in. You know what I mean?
There's not a
Well, you're still working it out.
So she's discovering. She's in the process of
Yeah,
discovery.
She's got a toolbox and she chooses her tools intuitively.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
I do the same way you
I appreciate that. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's a hard one to explain.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because being intuitive is really crucial as a healer, to be able to feel a person and you just know. And you've got to trust your intuition. Because what I picked up, I trust it's totally right for me. Yeah? And you've got to trust your intuition every time. Because people do have doubts about it, but it's only if you think. If you connect, you always feel. Yeah? Does it make sense? So mastering energy is important. Then it's about having a system to heal. Like NASA's creative system, like I help people have a creative system around popping, truth popping, but it's learning how to do it your own way. That's really important. Yeah, to be able to do it your own way. Not to say you've got to do it this way, which is how a lot of people train people. No, it's opening you up to how is the best for you. Because there's a lot of meditations, a lot of mantras and chanting. That's not how I work. Yeah, because I work in a different way. I like to work a lot through the bodies because I'm extremely sensitive to a body. Yeah.